Hi everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Becca, and today I actually want to, talk about a show that I used to watch growing up. So this show, I don't know about all of you. I don't know about, I feel like it was kind of a millennial thing, but I'm not sure. Um, but when I was growing up, my parents were always like, we were a Christian family, so they're always like, okay, we should watch Seventh Heaven. You should be watching Seventh Heaven. Got some good values, got some good lessons, you know, all of that stuff. So I used to love this show. Growing up, we watched it. I forget what day it came on, but it was like every week it would come on. We'd all be watching it, sitting by the TV. It was one of our favorites, me and my sister. It was like, there was relationships, there was drama, there was side stories about people from the church. Because if you don't know and you haven't heard of the show Seventh Heaven, basically the father is a minister. And so it follows this family of 5 children, which, spoiler alert, eventually they end up having 7 children because they have twins later on. I'm sorry if, you were really excited to, binge watch the show and find that out. But, yeah, they end up having 7 children. And basically, it just follows this family. The show starts with 5 kids, and then eventually they have the twins. And it's just all about, family values. It's like a nostalgic, homey show. And obviously, the dad in the show, the actor that plays him, his name is Stephen Collins. There has been some horrible things that have come out about the actor himself, and I don't condone anything that has happened. If you would like to look into it, feel free, but I don't condone it. I don't condone any of that. You know, thumbs down for him. I'm sure that's going to taint my view of watching the show, just like it would with anyone. But, we're going to check it out. We're going to see, does this show still hold true today? Or is it, just not so good anymore? It doesn't stand the test of time in 2024. Because this show was like, I think it went on for a long time, but it was like 90s to like early 2000s. I think it ended in like 2005 or something, if I'm not mistaken. So, basically, we're going to check it out. We're going to watch the first episode of the first season, and we're just going to see, is it still nostalgic? Do we like it? What's the vibe? I know there's been some clips on TikTok of like ridiculous scenes from the show, so that's kind of funny. And so basically, I just want to break down the family before we start because, there's a lot of people. So, first, you have the parents, Eric and Annie. Then we have the oldest son, Matt. He's 16, about 16, I think, at the beginning of the show. Then you have Mary, who is around 14, I think, at the start of the show. Lucy is around 12, I believe. You have Simon, who I don't know. I think he's like 10. I would just guess by the way looking at him, but they don't really mention it in the first episode at least. And then Ruthie is the youngest. She's probably like 6 or 7 at the start of the show. She's pretty young. I don't know. But anyway, we're just going to start with season 1, episode 1, and, we're going to break down timestamps if you really want to follow, and I'll watch along with you, and we'll find out, like, if you really like the show growing up or if you've never seen it, like, either way, I think it'll be interesting. So let's check it out, and let's see if it stands the test of time. So immediately the show starts out. I just started watching the episode, and there's already, like, I'm just grossed out. It's like, ew, like, no. It's the mother and father, Eric and Annie, and they're just, like, being affectionate, and, like, I just, after knowing everything about Stephen Collins, and also just, like, even before that, like, I don't want to see that, so just, like, ew, just immediately ew. So, let's keep watching to see how we feel. Oh. So, like, right away, little Ruthie comes in. She's the youngest. She's so cute. Those little curls are adorable. And then it's followed by, like, multiple other children. Like, all the other children just walk in. Because, like, they're all asking about breakfast. Like, these kids are needy. That's all I'll say. And side note, like, Simon's hair, it's very, giving very 90s, I will say. Jessica Biel is in this, which, crazy. You know, she's Mary, she's the oldest sister. And so everyone barges in, and then finally, the oldest son, Matt, is like, hey, like, we're supposed to let them sleep in. Like, what are you guys doing? Like, stop being needy. Well, he doesn't go cook anything, but, like, he's still gonna bring it up. And his hair is also very 90s. I'll also insert a picture of that because it is very 90s. And he takes the kids out and they're gone. My god, this song, the theme song for this show, is just so nostalgic for me. I don't know about you, but for me, like, one of the best theme songs I've ever seen. I don't think they make theme songs like this anymore. I'm just gonna throw that out there right off the bat. So going through the cast as I'm watching this, I feel like most of these people, like Barry Watson, I think has been in a few things. The oldest son, Matt, the actor that plays him, and Jessica Biel, obviously. But besides that, I'm not really sure I've seen these other actors, these other kids in anything else after Seventh Heaven. So I don't know if they've been in like other things that I'm not aware of. Like, were they in like some Lifetime movies or something? Like, I don't know. But I'm not familiar with these actors like after this. I know Catherine Hicks is pretty big too because she was in like the Chucky series before this and big actress. But the rest of them, I'm not so sure. Besides, you know, Barry Watson and Jessica Biel. So that's interesting to note because this show went on for such a long time and just haven't seen these people in anything. So. Okay, so immediately after the theme song, we're greeted by another romantic scene with the parents, which, again, ew. I'm sorry. I don't want to see it, and I just still don't want to see it, and I'm 30 years old, so I don't know. But, so that immediately happens. And then we go into, like, I don't know if this is like lunch or breakfast. Looks like maybe breakfast. So, a premise here is like Simon is trying to get a dog, so he keeps pushing like, "Oh, God wants me to have a dog," you know, like that's gonna convince his parents, I guess. I mean, it's a typical thing for a kid to want a dog, so it's not abnormal. But I do remember like Simon in the show, even as a child, like being a really good negotiator for a child, and I remember him like just trying to make like random side hustles and make money as a child. So like, I mean, good for him, I guess, you know. But like, I feel like that was a big thing for him. All right, so Lucy is the middle child. She's standing on her head basically, trying to, I guess, get her period to arrive because she hasn't gotten it yet.
What you doing? Becoming a woman, so leave me alone. Does standing on your head help? Mary told me to do it, okay? Okay.
And as I'm watching, they're gonna talk about periods. The dad is gonna try to talk to her about her period.
Hey, by the way, did you start your period yet? Because, you know, I was once your age myself, and I...
And I just, no. I just feel like, no. Like, just let the mom do it. Like, just let her do it. You know, like, I don't think the dad needs to be involved. He's just making it worse the whole time. Like, this whole period thing, he's just making it worse for her. Oh my god, she's teen angst. Like, all the way. Lucy's teen angst. So next, there's this scene with Matt, the oldest son, smoking cigarettes, which with this family, it's like a big no-no. You know, you don't drink, you don't smoke. So like, I'm in disbelief that he's actually smoking cigarettes. It's very rebellious of him, you know, for a show like this, which is kind of funny looking at it now. And then we go into the scene Then we go into the scene of total and utter incest. I don't know. It's like the oldest. It's like the oldest brother, Matt, and Jessica Biel. She's like, I've never kissed anybody. Like, can you show me how? And then like they don't actually kiss each other, but like, it's just like the dad walks in. I'll have to insert it here.
I'm not gonna kiss you. Okay, so do I touch his face with my hands?
No, look, if anybody touches face, he touches your face.
Okay.
Or maybe he doesn't look. I don't know. Do we have to do this?
Yes, so just stand still. Okay, so I close my eyes and...
Oh, Dad, this isn't what it looks like.
That's a relief.
Walks over and the Matt's just like, it's not what it looks like, you know, and then the dad's like, I hope not, you know, I hope you guys aren't trying to kiss each other. So like that was actually pretty funny. At first I was like, this is like scary that this is potentially incest, but then I was just like, the dad was just like, it was pretty funny. So next we go into the scene with Annie, the mom, and Lucy. And she's still talking about her period, of course, because she hasn't even gotten it yet, but she's still talking about it. She really wants it, you know. And so they're talking, and she's talking about how she doesn't think what if I never get my period? And it's just like, well, if you don't get your period, like, then this is going to be a medical issue. And this is why I don't have children. This is why I don't have them, because I wouldn't know what to say. Like, she's just like, oh, like, I'm so worried, and it's like, it'll come, you know, like, and then also, like, what's the rush? Because, like, you are, like, 12, I think, in the show, and it's like, I guess she's in a rush to be a woman, but, like, then you're gonna have it until menopause, so, like, just slow down there, you know? So, next up, Matt and Eric, the dad, get into a conversation about how he's been starting to smoke, and that's a big no-no, because that's rebellious, and blah, 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 and he's a teenager. So they're having this whole smoking conversation because in the show they have to talk about everything, you know, everything and anything all the time. So I'm thinking, like, if he's 16 and the dad's bringing up like he's gonna be using allowance money to get cigarettes and take a girl on a date, like that just seems weird to me. Like, I think you need to use I think you need a job so you can take this girl out, you know, and I think you need to, like, maybe at least have the money if you're gonna buy cigarettes. Like, it just seems weird that, like, you're using allowance money for cigarettes. So and about 10 seconds after I said that, the dad kind of was, like, saying the same thing, you need a job, and I was like, oh my god, like, you know you're 30 when you start agreeing with the adults. Like, I agree, you know, like, what is this guy doing? So, sorry, Matt, but, like, yeah, I think I agree with your dad on that one. So then there's a scene where they're at church and the dad is the minister, so he's preaching, and then he starts bringing up something that, like, applies to Lucy's situation right now with her period potentially coming. So she just bolts out of the church, like, without even, like, he has no idea. He's like, why are you freaking out? But she thinks it's about her, so she just bolts out the church, and literally was laughing out loud. Like, this is so embarrassing for her. It's peak teenage embarrassment. Like, who cares? You know, no one cares about your period. Like, it's fine, but, like, she's a teenager, so, like, I get it.
For everything, there is a season.
And also, like, a side note, like, the instrumental music in the show will be ingrained in my brain forever. Like, I still think about it, and it's just like catchy, a little catchy, you know? And I don't know, something about it, like, just lasts in my brain forever. So that's a side note. Bolts out the church, and we get back to the next scene here. And Annie and Eric, the parents, are talking about how, you know, like, periods. Again, they just keep talking about periods. I don't know. But they're talking about it, and he's like saying weird stuff like, I want to go to the drugstore for her tampons. Like, I don't know, it's just weird, like weird behavior for a father. And I'm just like, why, you know, why is he saying these weird things? I just think it's ew. But anyway, then Annie, the whole episode, just mind you, Annie is great. Like, she just tells it like it is. She's basically like, you know, periods aren't all great. And then the dad's like, what? Like, I mean, I guess he doesn't know because he's never had one, but like, he's never like heard of PMS. Like, I don't know. He has like he has another older daughter, but I guess she's not as teen angst. I don't know. So anyway, Annie's pretty much like, dude, like, PMS. You know, there's PMS. It's not all great. It's not all sunshine and rainbows to have your period. And he's like, oh my god, I can't believe it. So anyway, whatever. Moving on from that. So we get to the next scene, and Mary and Lucy decide they're gonna go for a run, because I guess Lucy thinks that's gonna help with her period. I don't know. And so she's using jean short. Lucy is wearing jean shorts to run, and I'm not really sure why. You know, like, I guess I just don't get it. Like, I can't run in jean shorts, but that's just me. And then there's this whole scene where they run into some guy, and Lucy accidentally drops a tampon on the ground. And I know she's a teenager, but like, she's just so dramatic about it. She just runs away like she did at the church. She just runs. It was pretty funny. The tampon, you know, like, but she's 12, so drama, you know. And then the next scene, Simon mentions something that I didn't know. I mean, I didn't realize was a thing. That dogs aren't supposed to have peanut butter. I don't know about that, Simon. I've heard plenty of people feed their dogs peanut butter from time to time, just as a little treat. But you guys tell me. I haven't really heard that that's a bad thing. But, I mean, I could be wrong. And then the next scene. So Matt says, she's my sister. Do you know what that means? To his friend, I guess. Trying to be protective, I guess. But it's just like, to me, I'm thinking of the earlier scene, and I'm like, incest means incest. But I'm just joking. His whole role, I think, mostly in the show is like, he's the protective older brother. So this scene, it's more teen angst, but for Mary this time, because she's like, well, I want to date this guy, and Matt is like, he's my friend, and like, he's not really into the idea, I guess. And then we get to this really weird scene, and like, Lucy, I guess, finally gets her period, right? After like all this talk about it, like, she's like, oh my god, like, I want it, you know, I want to be a woman, whatever. And then she finally gets it, and they're jumping for joy. Like, her, Mary, and Ruthie are all in a circle jumping for joy that she has gotten her period. And I guess I can't relate, because like, I think when I got my period, I was super young. I was like 9, and my mom was away or something, so my sister just gave me like a pad and was like, kind of it, you know, she's like, here, like, this is what we do, and here's some ibuprofen, you know, whatever. Like, let me know in the comments, like, did you celebrate getting your period? Because we didn't do that. Like, do people do that? Because I feel like these people are celebrating it, and it's like, I just can't really relate to that, I guess. But maybe some people do it. I don't know. But like, to me personally, like, no. I never did that. But they're jumping for joy, and then the dad's like so excited for Lucy, and like, he's very excited to go to the drugstore. As I mentioned earlier, he really wants to go to the drugstore for her to get those tampons, and it's like, just I almost vomited in my mouth. Anyway, moving on from the period talk. So then there's a scene with the mom and the dad, and the mom brought this dog home from the pound. Simon could, like, they weren't, like, she wasn't gonna, like, fully adopt it, but, like, I guess she brought it home because she was afraid they were gonna kill it, or, like, I guess it was, like, gonna get killed in 24 hours or something. So she just kind of went to the pound to browse, and then was like, we gotta take it, you know, it's the time. Because Simon's been wanting this dog, so he's been talking about it the whole episode. And then the mom tells Simon, because he's been, like, the whole episode, he's just, like, in the attic with, like, binoculars, because his dad was like, oh, like, if you see a dog outside and it comes to you, then we can keep it, you know? Because the dad's like, that's not gonna happen. But then it, like, the dog arrives, and Simon thinks, oh, it was God, you know, it was God that did this, but really it was, like, Annie did it, you know, she went and grabbed the dog, she told him that, but he's like, no, it was God. So then the mom and dad have, like, a little bit of a disagreement, but it's so funny because I feel like this is a typical dad move where, like, the dad always says they don't want the dog, but then they're the ones that, like, end up loving the dog the most out of everyone. Spoiler alert, they do keep the dog and they name it Happy, so that dog is really cute. I also feel like there's a scene after the whole dog thing where Mary has, I think his name was Jeff. Mary has this guy Jeff over to shoot hoops, because I guess they both play basketball. I don't know. And Jeff is apparently Matt's best friend, which I don't know. Like, I didn't hear that the entire episode. I thought they were just, like, kind of friends, but, like, I didn't know they were best friends. But, like, all of a sudden he's like, that's my best friend. And she's like, I don't know. It was just, I just feel like that wasn't, maybe I missed that earlier, but yeah, I don't know. So anyway, she's playing basketball with Jeff, who's Matt's best friend apparently. And she's saying how she's had feelings for him. Like, so he's like, let's wait another month and see how you really feel about my best friend. And she's like, all right. And then she's 14 at the time, I guess. And she's like, well, I've had feelings for him since I was 10. Like, so she's gonna wait. She's willing to wait, which that's gonna be an interesting dynamic later on. But, and then the rest of the episode takes, like, a sad shift into Annie's parents arriving at the end of the episode. And unfortunately, I think her mom has leukemia or something, and she's not going to do treatment. So she just wants to spend as much time as she can with family. So it ends with this whole scene of the whole family playing outside with the grandparents and with the dog that they now have, Happy, and that's pretty much where the episode ends. So my conclusion for the show, watching as a 30-year-old and not as a child, if you're on the hunt for, like, a wholesome family show, I think this one's for you, for sure. I find comfort in the show still from time to time, you know, as a 30-year-old. But I feel like the show, and I'm sure I'll watch more of it and get more into that, but the show was so dramatic about things like drinking and having sex before marriage, and the parents are just so heavily involved in the kids' lives, which, not a bad thing, but, like, it could be good, but sometimes it's too much, you know, and it's like, let's have a conversation every 5 minutes about your period. Like, it's like, okay, like, give these kids some room to breathe. You know, I know there's a lot of people in this family, and that, like, you only have so much room, but, like, give them a minute. Like, give them some time, you know? Another side note, Annie is a queen. Love her. Love how she just doesn't put up with stuff. She's just, like, she's, like, super real with Eric. Matt is the big brother that we all wish we had growing up. Like, come on, seriously. Minus the incest, you know, of course. And Stephen Collins, actor who plays Eric, gross. Don't stand for him. Still, all the scenes with him are a little bit ruined because of what he did. Yeah, unfortunately. I can't really look at the actor and not feel some type of way every time. And also, my dog Toad loves seeing Happy on the TV. Seeing Happy made him happy. And that is all for the first episode of Seventh Heaven. If you like this, maybe I'll do other episodes, because I don't know how many seasons there are. I'll have to look into it, but there's a good amount. So, you know, we could look at some other episodes, maybe some of the big ones that people are talking about, or I don't know, maybe one per season. We'll see. But yeah, if you like this, subscribe, check it out, you know, leave a comment, and my name's Becca, and I'll see you next time.